In this video, I'm going to share with you 3 free Elementor plugins that will speed up or have the potential to speed up your workflow when you're building websites using Elementor. Hi, my name is Adam from WPCrafter.com, where I make WordPress tutorial videos for non-techies. I try to make this stuff make sense. If you're new here, consider clicking on the subscribe button. And if you want notifications of new videos, there's a little bell you can click on, and YouTube will let you know when I have a new video. Okay, so if you go to the WordPress directory, plugin directory, or some people call it the repository, and do a search for Elementor, well, first you're going to see that Elementor's got a ton of active installations, but you're going to see a whole mesh of plugins, and in this video we're going to go over 3 that may help you with your web development workflow, and some of these I'm sure you may not have heard of before. Okay, the first one is Navigation Tree Elementor, and essentially what this is going to do is add this little side panel that when you click on the little arrow I'm going to show you in a moment, it will slide this out and you can see a list of your sections, the columns, and easily jump back and forth into them. And there is a reason why this is important, and that is if you're using overlapping elements. Sometimes, it's hard to click the little section button or something like that. Here, let me show you really quick. So here I am right here. Oops, you can see I already have it open because I've been testing it. All right, it's just this little arrow right here on the right, and when you click on it, boom, there you have it. You have your list of sections on the page. So this is ideal to get an overview over your entire page and how it's broken down. You can click this icon here to quickly jump into the settings. Now, you see here it just says section. It's obvious I have 4 sections on this page. You can see them here, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Well, you can make these more meaningful. So the first section is obviously this one here in the top. I can click this right here to get into the section settings versus clicking here. How many times have you tried to click that little section settings icon, but for some reason you just can't get to it? You see this mostly when you are applying some very advanced design techniques to your layouts where you might have overlapping elements and it's hard to get into the element that you want. That's where this plugin shines. So, okay, so we have these sections and we jump into the settings. Now we can actually change it from saying section to saying something a little more meaningful. It's super easy to do. You would click on advanced, you would scroll down, and here it says CSS ID. I'm going to go ahead and enter something in here. I named it Hero. I'm going to click on Update to update the saving of this page, and you can see it's already updated right there. So if you have a very long page, this is really going to come in helpful. And so when you click in this, if I click in it, you can see the way the section is configured. It's a hero section with 2 columns, and I can jump straight into specific columns just by clicking on it. And then I can even go further. I can jump into the settings of individual elements inside of those columns. This is a very useful plugin. Now, I think this is something that really bridges a great gap with Elementor. One of the things I wish this did was the ability to reorder sections. So if this one on the bottom, I wanted to lift it up, I could just drag and drop it up. That would be very sweet. I want to give you a couple caveats with this plugin though, and it's not been around that long, and it's not like it's being sold. I did run into some bugs trying to use it where this wasn't populating here on the right. What I needed to do is click on the update button to actually save the page, and then it would show. And as you notice, I'm in Elementor canvas mode, and that's because when I had it in the normal mode, it wasn't working. So let me actually just show you that. And the reason I'm bringing these up is to just reduce any frustration that you might have until the developer can fix these small little bugs. So if I went back to default and I clicked on update right here, let's see, maybe it's going to work now. Oh, yep, there it is. It's working now. So I had to play around with it to get it working. It's not rock solid, but I think when the developer gets this thing dialed in, this is probably one of those, for me anyhow, must have plugins if or while I'm developing a website, so I can just see quickly where everything is and I have quick access to those settings. All right, so that is the first plugin. It was Navigate Tree Elementor. Just go to Plugins, Add New, pop that sucker in there, and check this one out. The second one is going to be Flexible Elementor Panel, and you could do some really interesting things with this that I think some of them are useful. Now you can just come here to the plugin page and you can see through these animated GIFs all of the neat things that you can do with it. You can totally detach the editor, you can move it around. There's some nice things to that for sure. So let's go ahead and test this one out. Actually, before I jump on over to that, let's just list out some of the main features so that we can try to find those very easily in the plugin. Draggable Elementor panel, anywhere collapsible Elementor panel, resize the Elementor panel, collapsible widget category, sortable widget category, exit to dashboard button in the footer. I know a lot of people are going to like that one right there. Editor skin and accordion widget first tab closed options. Interesting the way all of those are worded. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump on into it. Here we are. I, through the magic of video editing, disabled that navigation one and just enabled this one and did a quick refresh on the page, and you can see it looks a little different. And actually, I gotta say, I was a little on the skeptical side of this plugin, but I so far really like it. So we've got some things here that are new that I could see. I've got this arrow here, so let's see what happens. Well, there we go. I could just go ahead and click that. I actually like that better than the little edge tab that we would have in here normally with Elementor. I do kind of like that better. I do like that a lot better. Okay, I see this little toggle bit here. Let's see what happens when we do that. I guess that's doing something. Oh, there we go. Okay, so when it's off, everything is collapsed. That's actually very useful because if you notice, if you use any of the add-on packages for Elementor, this list of widgets gets insanely long. So this is to expand or contract all of these elements. I do like that. And it is good that these are smaller boxes. They didn't need to be as large as they were. I find though with the number of elements now for Elementor, I find myself using the search more and more. And down here we have a new icon. If you see it, it's right here, and that is exit. I know this is going to make a lot of people happy, and I like that that is there just like that. This is very good. I don't like how the icon is because there's the 10th element and it just takes up the full width. It just looks a little out of place. I think it visually looked nicer if it was just a small icon right here. All right, so lastly, I guess we can click right here and we can move this sucker around. That is pretty cool. So I guess if I click in this text, it's going to change. That is really cool. And of course, we can put it here on this side like that. I don't see it fully docking yet. I wonder if I have to move it more. Let's see. Okay, getting it back is a little, okay, there we go. But getting it on this side, it doesn't look like it wants to go to the top. But it does if I go here to the left. Okay, so I guess this one's going to take just a little getting used to, but I gotta say it's pretty cool. And it looks like right here there is a settings option for it. So I got to that by clicking on the hamburger icon, and here it is, FEP settings. So we have our editor skins. Now this is actually cool. Let's go dark. That's great. I think dark is easier on the eyes for sure. All right, let's go back to light. We have our exit to dashboard link, and here are some options there. This is not bad. I do like this one a lot. I could see this being very useful for people to have more options for how they interact with Elementor. Okay, our last plugin for this video is going to be Granular Controls for Elementor. This is going to have some of the features that were found in the prior plugin, the flexible panel one. So let's scroll down here and see what this one has. Now, here's a list. Okay, so we can do some keep all accordions closed on page load, turn off Elementor dashboard widget. That's actually pretty good. Apply a preset color or skin to the editor. So some of these are the same settings. Apply an Elementor UI hack. Set any section or column to appear after a certain time. That is very interesting. It says here, well, it's using the phrase delayed content. So it looks like you're getting additional visibility controls over sections or columns that could come in useful in your web design. We're going to take a look at that for sure. Schedule visibility of any section or column for a given time. We'll take a look at how that works, but in theory, you could have one hero section at the top of your website during certain hours of the day and then switch it out to something different for other hours of the day. So if you're a local business, perhaps maybe one that goes in services, homes, and there might be emergency or evening situations, you can do some really kind of basic personalization based upon time here. All right, we're getting some parallax options. I did make a video about this before. Particles, I do not like that. That's a visual effect. Will make people's computers, CPUs go crazy. I don't really like that much, but there are people that want it, and it's great that it's here for them. We have a few more Elementor template, library templates as the admin dashboard. Welcome. Dragging editor bar. Okay, they do the same thing with the exit button. They actually restore the exit button, and I know a lot of people like that as well. So you get a little bit of overlap here between Flexible Elementor panel and the Granular Controls for Elementor. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one. Okay, this one will have a back end option panel that is found after you activate it underneath Elementor. It's their Granular Controls, and we have these 3 tab options here so we can control which settings in this plugin that we want to enable or have disabled. So you have General, Editor, and Advanced right here. So we have the option for accordions to be closed. This would be your accordion module. Remove dashboard widget. So when you have Elementor installed and you're on the dashboard of your WordPress install, there's an Elementor widget there. This will turn it off. There's also another way to do that with the screen options. Okay, here's our options for the editor. So right here we can first have different colors if we want. I wish this would actually be in the Elementor panel when you would want to test it out. So right now you'd have to try one, save it, and do a refresh, but that's okay. So far it's so good. Okay, we have Elementor UI Hack Widget panel. I am not familiar with that. We have Enable Parallax, so let's go ahead and turn that on, and we'll do a turn on for the particles just so we could take a quick look at it. Enable the exit bar. Let's go ahead and enable this. I'm assuming that this is going to enable the button for exiting the Elementor editor, kind of someplace that's easier to get to. The exit point, this is actually really needed to let you control what happens when you exit a page. And you can see right here, there's various options here. I like the edit screen. That works out fine for me. There's the exit target, the exit name, and the live view name. Let me do a quick save change and then go into the last tab here, which is advanced settings. Now, I haven't tested this, but what I believe this is allowing you to do is to use Elementor to create an widget in the dashboard of WordPress. So you would enable this and then you would choose this. This is actually pretty neat. Actually, here I have some saved sections. Why don't we go ahead and test it? So this would be great if you design websites for people using Elementor, in which you then later give them control or to log into the back end of WordPress. This way you can have some custom branded experience. So I'm just going to play around with it doing this right here. So let's just go ahead and enable both these and give it a shot. I do not know what's in that home header section. So let's see what happens when I click on dashboard. Well, there it is. There's my home header section. I could see some usefulness of this. You could design a totally custom dashboard here with a contact form, maybe some info on some of your services. You know what? I'm going to make a dedicated video on this. We'll create something really cool and we will give that out. So that's what that is. Okay, so let's just go ahead and jump on in. Let me do a quick refresh so some of those changes that I made are now available. Oh, check this out. This is one thing that it adds right there. This big exit to dashboard right here and a view live page right here. That's cool. It's kind of interesting where it is. I guess we could move it. That would be kind of cool right there. I like that a lot. It feels very native. Okay, so far we can see it just looks a little bit different here. I'm not going to be able to get into every little setting of it. I do like this like that though. I wonder what this does. Oh, that's my moving that around. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at some of those really interesting visibility options. Actually here, let's go into the section settings first. And this section has this image in the back. And so let's see, there it is. So here's that enable parallax. This was not there before, and enable particles. I don't like particles. Let's turn it on and see what control we get. Oh, so one extra step. You have to have this particles JSON code, which you can click here to get. Not a fan of particles. I'm going to turn that off. Here is our parallax control. And so you can see we have some options right here. So there's scroll. Wow, there's a lot more options. This has gotten a lot better. And also you can control the speed of which the parallax works. Android support, iOS support. This is very, very cool. So they are giving you some different options there. So I'm scrolling, but I don't see the parallax going on. It could be because it's just, there we go. Nope, I don't see my parallax happening. Maybe I need to click on update and then do a quick preview on a live page and see if we have that working. Oh, there we go. Now it's working. For some reason, it wasn't working in, you see it going there? I have it. You would not want speed controls like this. Anyways, but it's not working in preview. Maybe it's just a minor bug, but that is really, really cool. All right. So now let's go to the settings for controlling the visibility of this. Actually, you know what? Let me turn parallax off. Now, when I reviewed this, the parallax feature of this some time ago, you didn't have the control of the speed, and now you have it right there in Elementor. That is really, really good. Okay, so now we have these two options, delayed and scheduled. So let's just take a look at it. So I'm going to enable the delayed content right there. So I guess on page load, we can have it appear after a second or so. Let's see, set delay time in minutes. Okay, so that's saying the delay time is now set to 30 seconds. That's half a minute. So if I click on update, and then I go here and then click on view live page, we shouldn't see that. And then after 30 seconds or so, it should appear. I think there are lots of good uses for this. I can think on sales terms. If you say send someone to a page and there's a video playing and it's a 10-minute video and you start making some form of an offer 8 minutes in, you can maybe have the order button or a contact form button or something like that delayed, so it will only show kind of when that offer happens. That way, when someone jumps to the page, they're not immediately thinking, wow, this guy wants something from me, he wants to sell me something, or this guy wants to have my contact information. So, all right, so we're just sitting here. I think 30 seconds should be almost up, but I'm not seeing anything appear just yet. So we're going to just wait. Okay, it's not popping up. Maybe there's a little bug in that, or maybe it's the way that I am doing it. That is okay. Actually, here, let's change this to a much lower number. There we go. I changed it to 0.5. I'm going to do a quick update, and I'm going to click on View Live Page. So this should pop up right away if it works in preview, and maybe it just doesn't work in preview. I'm sure these are free plugins. I'm sure there's little intricacies with it, and it looks like we got one of those intricacies in this one, but that's okay. I will not be deterred. Okay, we have our scheduled content right here. Let's see what options this gives us. Okay, so this isn't giving us reoccurring. This is specific. Actually, you know what? This is really good. So I could see a huge usefulness on this if you are, say, having a sale on a particular product and maybe you wanted to hook in some piece of content at the top. We recently saw this with Elementor where they had a sale and it was tied to a countdown timer. What this is going to allow you to do is when that countdown timer reaches 0, kind of have that end date going on right here and then make it go away. I think that is very, very useful. There's a ton of uses for this, and you know what? I haven't seen anyone have an option like this, so I can see a ton of great use for this. So that's going to be it for this video. These 3 plugins, I think they are definitely worth you checking out and maybe testing on your own. They're all free, so there might be little bugs here or there that I've personally experienced, but I'm sure over time, if we support these developers, they will work through those. And if you use any of these plugins and you find them useful, you can go to any of these plugin authors pages right here, and you can scroll down and you can write a review for them. That is one way that you can say thank you, is to give them a positive review. If you notice any problems, each of these plugins have a support tab. You can go there and write out your problem. As a matter of fact, I might do that for some of these for the bugs that I've encountered. Keep in mind, they're free. They're not making any money from this. So if they do get back to you, it might be a little bit delayed. So I want to open up this to you. What useful plugins have you found for Elementor that are free in the WordPress repository? And how is that making maybe your workflow easier or your designs better? I'd like to hear from you in the comment section down below. If you found any value in this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Other than that, I will see you in the next video.